Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. There is some drama afoot in the SWU world. I am reticent to discuss too much of it because I don't know all the details, and a lot of it's speculation slash, I guess it's secondhand, but only technically because the people who are relaying the story were impacted, but they were not the people directly involved in the story. I don't know. We'll get into it at some point. And I want to talk about spoilers because I had meant to last night to look at the spoilers for the last couple days, and I do kind of want to dive into them, but I also wanted to talk about, and I'll probably do it in my video this week, or maybe I'll pull this from this recording. I'm kind of annoyed at the icon spoilers, in all seriousness. So, I'm annoyed at the icon spoilers to get this one out of the way, and I'm sure it'll come up several times. But we got several icon spoilers. I don't think they're in SWUDB yet. I highly doubt that it was programmed yet. I wonder if they're in the official database, but regardless, we got a bunch of spoilers for icons and a lot more details as to what it is. And it sounds interesting enough. It seems like it's another intro, learn to play the game, get your feet wet in the game in a rather interesting way. They're not the first people to do it, FFG, in that it's, okay, here's the base game, then you open a pack and you add it to your deck, and then it expands by introducing more keywords, more abilities, more effects. And there's several stages, I think they said 4, and it allows you to step into the game, which I think is a very good thing for them to teach people in that methodology. The game is complex, especially if you are coming from zero card gaming experience. In fact, sometimes other card gaming experience can actually screw you up in this game. So I do like that fact. I think that the setup for it generally is pretty good. I'm trying to find the other details here. We'll pull up some of these screenshots that were shared. We could talk about the individual cards, but I think some of this information is more interesting. So again, this is coming out later this year, which I'm going to return to momentarily, but we have 8 brand new leader units, all common cards, and some of the uncommon cards will be reprints. I'm confident these are all going to be mostly garbage. As you can see here, this is a reprint Savage Oppress, who was not a very useful card. The first Grogu, the Tap Grogu, is also coming back. They showed us some other stuff, but I fully anticipate a lot of these are going to be doo-doo or mostly irrelevant. There might be 1 or 2 relevant things that come back, but I doubt we're going to get like Surprise Strike, or No Good to Be Dead, or Resupply, or Super Laser Tech, stuff like that. However, all the rare, legendary, and remaining uncommon cards are brand new, and every rare and legendary card in the set is a unique unit card. So these are going to be legal in Premier with, I don't know when exactly, like what day, but they are going to be legal in Premier, and on top of it, it is going to come in the middle of the Homeworld season, so depending on when your PQs happen, this could or could not impact you. I don't know. I don't believe they said anything in these screenshots about the quantity of cards that are going to be present. So I don't know if this is going to follow the Twin Suns approach, where you're going to need to hypothetically buy 4 or 5 of these, probably 3, not 4 or 5. Possibly buy 3 of these in order to get play sets of all the cards that are important for competitive play. It's annoying enough to have another product to have to buy, but they had to do this, or otherwise they're probably never selling enough of these. Now, as you can see on the board, we see the SOR R2. We see probably the SOR C3PO. It could be a new C3PO. Because it looks like different art. Yeah, that's got to be different art. But anyway, we really wanted to. Somebody could like try and reverse engineer the text and zoom in on the picture or whatever, but who cares? I'm kind of annoyed that this even matters for Constructed, but companies are going to do what companies do. The thing that really pisses me off about this, the thing that really irks me about this, is that why the fuck are we getting previews for this now? Who cares? Who fucking cares? This comes out in 6 months. This is coming out in November or December. Who fucking cares? The Galactic Championship, which is by definition the largest and most important event of the year. It's certainly going to be the largest, and it is, as I already said, by definition, the most important one of the year. The first 3 rounds of the first day of that event are draft. All signs right now are pointing to that event, and that this spoiler season for that event is going to play out identically to every other spoiler season. Meaning that we are not going to know the set until like 3 weeks before the fucking event. Barring another spoilage, another leak of the entire set like last year. Which at this point I would welcome. Because this is asinine. I've mentioned it a few times before, but I don't believe that I'm going to be going to Galactics next year. And that is just a financial decision. It's just too goddamn expensive to go. Now, I could try and like hit top 32, but like, come on, let's be real. I'm not a fucking fool. I may not be the smartest person on the planet, but I'm not a fool. I'm not going to accomplish what's necessary to hit top 32. So I'm not going to, that is then going to influence my decisions throughout the year, which will effectively become a self-fulfilling prophecy because I will choose not to go to events that if I did well enough, consistently enough, I could hypothetically hit top 32. But I'm not going to go to enough events and spend enough money to justify or even potentially even, have the pipe dream of hitting top 32, assuming they bring that back, which there's no guarantee, that would get me a free room and board and ride to Vegas. However, I don't think I could sustain competitively putting up with this bullshit. This is nonsense. Now, it's not to say that there's not nonsense in other games. Magic is putting out fucking 7 competitive sets a year. That's insane. I'm complaining about having like 3.5, maybe. This may not even add up to half a set. And I've played tons of other games with tons of other different problems. But man, it is just brutal trying to support any decision that FFG makes. It constantly feels awful. And I'm not looking for sympathy here. I'm not trying to tell people like, oh, woe is me. I can't go to Galactics next year. I can't pay the money to take a vacation to the gambling capital of the world to play card games about Star Wars. Oh no, woe is me. No, like, no one's going to fucking die because of that. I'll survive. Who cares? However, I think it is problematic that it is so pricey. And now they're asking you to buy more to play the game. On top of, they were always asking you to buy more. On top of not preparing you or giving you the tools to properly prepare for the upcoming event. And these are all self-inflicted wounds. No one is holding them, I guess, unless it's technically Disney. In which case, they need to start that process sooner so that they can have the appropriate approvals in place, which again, circles back to FFG, this is your fucking problem. I don't know what that side of the game looks like. I have a sense of it. But I don't know exactly what they're dealing with in FFG's position. But good God, why is this a thing? I personally feel like, and I understand why they don't do this from a marketing perspective. Like, I can understand it and still disagree with it. The reason that they do spoiler season is marketing. They want people to get excited about things. They want people to be frothing and feel the FOMO, so they rush out and buy a bunch of stuff. That's all well and good. But I don't fucking care because I'm not one of those people. I don't get excited about this stuff. I've said that. I've been consistent about this for decades. So I get fucking annoyed when the thing that I do care about, which is the competitive aspect of the game, that I cannot properly prepare because I'm not a great player. So I need every chance that I have in order to practice and prepare. I can't do that when they literally are withholding the information because they want to make more money. And I get they want to make more money. They are entitled to make more money. But it is negatively impacting me, so I'm going to fucking complain about it. It is what it is. So that's what we got for this time. I'm not going to do the sign off because I'm live streaming. So if I use this for later, this is the end of the video. Come by the live stream if you want to hear more rants because this is going to go on for a while. We discussed the weird concession thing. I have zero idea how that works unless you have multiple qualified teammates. Why would round 1 not be played even against a teammate unless the teammate has no need to win? But then round 2 has that same issue. So allegedly, that guy played exactly goose egg games before top 8. And they're probably in top 8 right now. Let me see if I can find the Melee link because I meant to do that earlier. So one of the guys that's in my Discord, he's actually, or was at that event, and he needed points to qualify. So he understandably was peeved about this. Let me see if I can find this. Where's this fucking Melee link? Apparently there's a bunch of people in the Discord I'm in that broke this news, that know this guy personally. So it was not, and I mean, I'm taking them all at their word. It was not collusion, like he didn't pay somebody, but allegedly it was 2 teammates first round, then a guy who top 8'd Worlds last year who does not care. And that will come up momentarily because I was explaining this to my wife. We're going to talk about like the specifics as I know them. Obviously this could be hearsay, it could be bullshit, it could be whatever. But I got to go back like several hours to find this. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. So allegedly this guy is person. Oh, well, we're on the wrong screen. 6 rounds before cut is my understanding. Went 402. Yes. The early round makes less sense. The later rounds make sense if he was going to make top cut anyway, and you could push the other people at the top you wanted to be there. So allegedly, as I understand the sequence, is that we had a Bo-Katan leader. We don't need to know more cards. True. Cut the set off. So allegedly, what happened is this guy, and I'm debating, like, maybe I don't pull up the Melee only because I don't want to, like, put this guy on blast. Because it sounds like it's not his fault. People just chose to concede to him. They're like, he's a nice guy. I like this guy. He needs points. I'm going to concede to him. And that started in round 1. Continued in round 2. Round 3, he intentionally drew. And then round 4 and 5, people conceded. And then round 6, he drew. Now, from what I can see from the event, it appears that he did end up coming in second, which apparently got him the points he needed. Now, the guy who was originally complaining about this, I decided I'm not going to show the Melee. The guy who was originally complaining about this and was in the screenshot that I posted in Discord, and this is not a knock on him, he and I top 8'd a PQ in set 6. And I was knocked out in the top 8 by the same guy, allegedly, who conceded in this event or whatever to this other guy, right? So top 8 Worlds competitor knocks me out, concedes to this other guy in a later event. Completely unrelated. in the top 4 of the event that I was knocked out in, the guy who's complaining, I know this is getting complicated because I'm trying to avoid names. The guy who's complaining today got a free concession in the top 4 to get him his first points towards Worlds. This is months ago now. From the guy who conceded today, allegedly. I know that was very convoluted. I was explaining this to my wife earlier, and it's like, it very much felt like the pot calling the kettle black. Where it's like, yes, it didn't officially, and I'm not going to make, I think there are 2 dramatically different scenarios, though, where like, I think it is reasonable to say, I got a concession, and they were helping me. Like, somebody did a nice thing for me, because they didn't have to play it out. Like, I played things out. Like, I won a PQ last weekend. I probably could have conceded to a lot of people that needed the points. So maybe I'm just an asshole. And you could get into the debate about like teammates conceding for each other or blocking for each other or however you want to phrase it. But I think I don't think it's unreasonable to see a difference between I conceded to somebody to give them a top 8 berth. I conceded to somebody to get them their points. I drew or whatever in one round. And then somebody not playing a single fucking game. I don't know where that line is, but I think it is reasonable to say that one scenario is not the same as the other. As far as I can tell, it's weird, but there aren't rules against conceding or IDing. There might be collusion here, but you need to... So the way I said it to my wife is, I think it's completely reasonable. I don't know if this will happen. But if FFG elects to initiate an investigation, I think that's reasonable. It is extremely weird for not a literal last chance qualifier, but a close to last chance qualifier, where it's like, this is I think next weekend might be the literal last weekend of qualifiers. And those are only in Europe, I think. I don't think there are any more US ones. This was the last weekend in the US, as far as I know. Could be wrong, but like, they're done in the next week or two. It's extremely weird for somebody to have 6 people or however many people in a row concede to them or nothing. And that could be true. That's completely possible. I don't think it's crazy. It sounds like everybody likes this guy, like on a personal level. And if they were all qualified, which a lot of people are still playing in qualifiers, even though they're qualified, which will be another talking point. So they have no incentive. Of course they're going to fucking concede. It's like, oh, you need points? And you bought me a beer once? All right, fine. There you go. Maybe you didn't even buy me a beer. Maybe I just like you. Okay, fine. Have the points. Like, who cares? The problem is that, I mean, there's lots of problems. There's no incentive. Your explanations sound like Spaceballs family relation explained by Darth Helmet. Yeah, exactly. It was, without saying names to specify people, it's very weird. I do wonder if points-based qualifications don't inherently have this issue. Once you're qualified, entering more tournaments puts you in a position to gatekeep results. It does. There needs to be an incentive. Here's the problem. I have a question. Why does this all matter? You can't force people to play, and if there's no match fixing, it's going to be random matchups. It's almost impossible for... Well, I don't think it's impossible for them to investigate. I think it would be impossible for them to prove... Like, even if we assume there was collusion, who the fuck... Like, you'd have to be really dumb to get caught, right? Also, are you colluding with the entire fucking event? Because, like, how did that even happen? I have a question. Why does he scoop to me more? Because he wants to gatekeep you. Like they were just, like Gatona was saying. I mean, that's kind of the long and the short of it, Lewis, is that like, I am going to assume everything is above board here. I don't know any of these people. I don't know enough of the details. I'm going to assume everything's above board. Everybody it just happened to work out that way. The stars aligned that they ran into a bunch of their buddies or teammates or nice people or whatever, and this person was able to get there. Good for them. The issue is, I understand why someone would go, this is harmful to competitive integrity, but I got to be honest, I've never heard of this happening in any game ever. And I've been doing this for over 30 years. When I say this, I mean the entire event falling into line this way. Thing is, whatever the incentive is, would have to be strong enough. So there is an incentive to continue doing well. If you hit top 32 points in the world, they give you room and flight to Vegas, and I assume some other swag, to play in the Galactic Championship, which is a lot of money. But if you still have this no man's land of like, if I know I cannot possibly advance from 40th, like everybody else, like there's just such an enormous margin. There are literally not enough events between now and whenever for me to close the gap. It is not mathematically possible. Then I am one of these people, hypothetically, who could be qualified that has no reason to be bothered, but I want to play. So I am already fucking the results by showing up. The real incentive HR, I'm not going to lie. There was a point in the last PQ where I'm like, I think I was at a lunch break and I was eating pizza and I'm like, fuck, I just lost. What the fuck's that going to do to my elo? It did. Like for like half a second, I thought that and I'm like, motherfucker, you know what? I don't care. I don't get StarCraft or Warcraft ladder anxiety. I don't care about the elo, so I don't care about it here, but I do think about it. Let's say we're teammates and I'm qualified. Is room and flight better for us collectively than me putting you into Vegas where we double our chance of either of us winning? Well, doubling 0 is still 0, so the room and flight would be better. I can say that with certainty. Because I ain't fucking winning Galactics. But I do think that there is an underlying issue of this. I need my soapbox to rant. Why? What is the rant? I can't promote you on here to speak, so. I do think that they need to, like, if this matters, and I don't think this will probably ever happen again. Like, in order for this to happen, this specific event, you need such an enormous amount of variables to align. Oh, he loves Elo. Wait, does he actually like Elo? We've never talked about this, so I don't know if he actually likes Elo or not. I have issues with Elo, the system. I don't necessarily have issues with Elo, like a ranking system, Elo, the shorthand for it. But Elo, the individual ranking system itself, is not a good system. For a variety of reasons. Well, I guess it's a variety, but there's like one major one. We've talked about it before on stream, but we can get into it momentarily, I'm sure. But there needs to be a reason. So FFG wants the Betons, the Bettons, however the fuck you say his name, to show up to local events. Because it's like, oh man, did you hear? The world champion is here. How cool is that? They want that. But you can't, for the same reason that Wizards got rid of Elo, because people wouldn't go to the events because it would negatively impact their rating. So if you remove all the guardrails, people are going to show up to these events because they want to play the game, or they want to stay in shape if nothing else, or they're going to block for teammates or whatever, whatever the impetus is. But you don't give them an incentive to actually perform the action that they're supposed to be doing, which is trying to win the most games or win the event. Maybe not necessarily the most games, but you get what I'm saying. The most matches. But you can't, like, all of these are self-inflicted fucking wounds. Now, I don't think that this is really that big of an issue at the end of the day, because it's just not really going to realistically happen. I've watched teammates crush their teammates in events just because. Like, at multiple PQs and other events, like, they don't fucking care. I think people are doing the competitive integrity maintaining activity 99.9% of the time. How much I like Elo varies on how good my personal Elo is. Fair. I have material for you the next time around in your Discord. Okay. Like, to use for public rants. Because as a random digression, I've actually had people reach out to me and say, hey, if you need more material for rants, here's this thing. But after researching said thing and talking to them, I kind of talked them off the ledge, so it's no longer on the agenda as a rant. Because I was like, this isn't that bad. And I started walking them through the reasoning behind it, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Which was a very funny moment, but I thought it was cool that people were like ready to feed me shit to like go righteous anger mode. Because I have another thing to look at. How many people played this event, and of those people, how many were already qualified? So it was a 6-round event. So we know that it was up to 64 people, between 32 and 64, but we don't know how many. Well, it is knowable. We could learn how many people. You don't need any material. Okay, fair. We could determine how many people played in the event that were qualified. But why does that change anything? Because then the question, there are lots of dovetail questions. And in my head, I always decision tree things. It's like, okay, well, is it this? Okay, well, then it's either this or this. And then from there, well, is it this, or is it on the other side, this or this? And you keep going down until you get to, wherever you need to be. Are we going to gatekeep people who are already qualified? Like, once you're qualified, you are no longer allowed to play in these events? Because that would probably, I'm not going to lie, that would kill a lot of these, up by us, kill a ton of events. Like, people just straight up wouldn't, I would be surprised if they fired. Maybe that's extreme. I'm sure they would get at least 8 people. There's another potential issue is that there might be too many people qualified. It's possible that like half the population have no incentive to win. I mean, that might be true in this area by us because there are so many competitive players and they perform so well when they leave the area. Because obviously if we're all competing in the same event, I need to have 1 win per set mats. I need to figure out how to sell my mats. I have so many play mats I need to get rid of. I'm planning on putting up a post before Worlds to be like, does anyone want these? I will bring them to Galactics so that way I don't have to fucking ship it. But I agree with you, Tona. Like, it is possible that there are too many. This actually is another discussion because people want more people to qualify, and I think that it should be a little bit easier to qualify. But the question becomes, so the current point structure in these PTQs, they're planetary qualifiers, PQs, but they're PTQs. If you win, you are qualified. We're going to ignore the leaderboard for now because who cares? That's not important for 90% of the population, 99% of the population. If you win, you get 100 points. You need 100 points to qualify. Bang, qualification. Congratulations, you win. You get to pass go and collect a bunch of deck boxes and other useless shit. Maybe we'll get another grocery bag again this year, guys. Ah! Give me another fucking jerk-off sock. So, if you get second place, remember, you need 100 points. If you get second place, you get 35. So you need to get second place 3 times before you qualify. There are 3 sets per season. So there's a set that's coming out this summer. After Galactics, there will be a PQ season for season 2. Then there will be a set in the winter. There's technically 1.5 sets in the winter, but that's not important here. That will have a qualifying season. Then you have the spring into like where we are now. So there will be 3 sets. So you could hit the finals of one of these events in 1 in each set, hypothetically. If you get top 4, 3rd or 4th, you get 25. So you need to do it 4 times. If you hit top 8, 5th through 8th, you get 15 points. Anything beyond that, you get fucking goose egg. Now, the biggest complaint for people is that there are PTQs in Italy, let's say, that have, and I'm not exaggerating, single-digit players that award the identical amount of points as one that is 128 players here on the East Coast of the United States or in California or wherever. Now, I'm going to throw out the window which where the best players are because there's no way to know. Did like the fucking world champion, did Tyler Lewis and fucking Ian decide to show up and body people at a random PQ in Bumblefuck, Missouri or something? Like, this could happen. Had that happen in WoW too, we'd hit up qualifiers, my team would be like half the room. I mean, that can happen, especially because some of these teams are trying, well, the Bothans for a while would look like a super team where it was just like, all right, we have 80 fucking guys. So, like, it could be true. Or, like, and even beyond that, people that aren't necessarily officially on a team could be team adjacent because it's like, oh, well, these are my buddies. And, like, what are you going to tell them to go fuck themselves? Like, come on, let's be real. Even if they're not officially on the team or something, you're not necessarily sharing information. People have friends, right? I guess it's the male loneliness epidemic or something. I don't know. But regardless, like, I simultaneously understand the issue and the complaint and the concern and the problem. And also, I have been knocked out of event. It hasn't happened in SWU, to my knowledge, because I don't think I've bubbled out in this way, but I have bubbled out in this way in other games where, hey, that guy drew or that guy got a concession because it's their buddy, and I didn't. And I lost on breakers, or I got bumped, or I lost. And if they lost, then I would have been in on breakers or something like that. That has 100% happened to me on multiple occasions. As I said earlier, I've never even seen it where somebody didn't have to play a single fucking game. And again, this could all be bullshit, but like going with the story, I've never seen it where it was, I didn't play a single game and I got a top 8. So I understand the different ends of the spectrum here where, like, okay, where we'll accept that this can happen. People may not find it palatable or whatever, but like, okay, it happens. And then if it's the entire event, I can understand why you're upset. But to the earlier point, what the fuck do you do about it? Explain to me the difference between I sit down and person across from me needs points, and they're a friend of mine, or they're a teammate of mine, or they're the second coming of Jesus. I don't know why Jesus is playing Star Wars Unlimited. I have no idea, but maybe he likes card games. Maybe he likes laser swords. You ever see when he fought the dinosaurs? Sick. So let's say Jesus sits down and says, I still need points. First of all, what the fuck is that sentence? I can't believe I just said that. Imagine you sit down to play a card game and Jesus is your opponent. And he's just saying, man, I really hope I qualify for the Star Wars Unlimited Trading Card Game Galactic Championship this year. I need 15 more points. Oh, man. You think if I go to church tomorrow and I talk to the priest, I can explain this to him? I mean, I'm going to church tomorrow, but you think I can explain this story to the priest? I don't think the priest is going to get it. I knew the discussion in Discord was going to kick off a bit. I didn't expect it. So you missed the rant about the icon stuff, JK. Jesus concedes for everyone and automatically qualifies. Big true. Big true. He just revokes the whole cross thing over you. He's like, you know what? Fuck you. I changed my mind. And then you just crushed under the weight of your sin. Oh, man. Look, either Jesus has a sense of humor or I'm pretty fucked. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it anyway, but I like to believe that God has a sense of humor. I'm guessing my suggestion about the new points breakdown was debunked by you earlier. I don't remember. Ping me, like, @ me in Discord so I can look at it again, JK. I might have forgot. If you're in South, wait, what? Which was that in response to? What? This is getting fucking unhinged. You post the Melee link in Discord, I'll go through the points of each person. No, we're not doing that. We're not fucking witch hunting people because I don't actually care. If we really want to look it up, we could. Like, it is possible. It could be done, but who cares? I think that the philosophical part of the discussion is actually more interesting. Grab your torches. I think the philosophical discussion is interesting, but here's the thing. I honest to God thought you said grab your toesies at first. I'm like, wait, where is this going? But I was trying to say this, and then we got like derailed by Jesus playing Star Wars. But a point was made earlier, I think Clue said it, that like what is the desired outcome of this? Because you cannot stop people from conceding. Explain to me the difference. This is how we got onto the Jesus thing. If I sat down and I just had explosive fucking diarrhea, the breakfast burrito did not hit right, and I just had explosive, violent, like hospital level fucking diarrhea. One would imagine that it would take me longer than 5 and then another 5 minutes to resolve this particular situation. Right? I think we can all agree there. Jesus could probably heal the diarrhea, probably. No, only leprosy. It sucks that I had diarrhea and not leprosy. Or paralysis. Is that a screenshot in Discord? Okay. Is it of Jesus curing diarrhea? What are we doing? What? Oh, okay. I was like trapped between 4 different lines of conversation. That's why I got confused about that part. Okay, I got you. I pick up where you're going, Clues. Okay. So, but in all seriousness, like this, I said this almost exact line of argumentation when Alex, everybody in Reddit was having a fucking meltdown over Alex conceding in that sector or regional, whatever it was last year, that there's no functional difference. Like, you have to allow people to concede. Now, you can feel that it's icky. You can applaud him for, moving his teammate forward. You could be upset because you think that his teammate had a better matchup, so they were, rigging the standings or whatever fucking bullshit Reddit was coming up with. It doesn't matter. You have to let people concede. You cannot force me to play a game that I am saying I do not want to continue. However, I get the argument of why I don't think, and I haven't thought about this because, like I said, this situation to this extreme, this degree has never come up. So I don't know why, I don't know what the solution is. You pinged me. Oh, you posted it in, yeah. Okay, I thought you meant you posted it to my Discord. That's why I was confused. I did see that. So we can talk about that too. Hold on. We'll finish. I'm trying not to digress too far because then there's like 9 different threads going on. I want to see the Jesus curing diarrhea screenshot too. Do you want a screenshot of that? I feel like, you know what? We're not going there. I want to get demonetized. So Will, you brought up a good point about like weighting points based on attendance. I've been championing that, and that kind of ties into JK's point about this. The real question, does having diarrhea go against the game's hygiene? Technically, I don't think there's a hygiene policy in SWU. Somebody would have to confirm that for me. Because it comes up more often than I would like in other games. It feels like once a quarter, there's a game that it's like there's a hygiene related incident. Which is problematic. So teams start taking vacations to deny locals. Like if KTOD took a couple months to hit Australia and just crush all the events. That could happen. So I do think that they need to. One of the things that I disagreed with your suggestion, there's no good way for me to pull this up on screen. I guess I can do it this way. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to engineer something here. So hopefully, I don't know if people can read this. We'll zoom in. So this was the suggestion that was put forth. Don't dox you. Should I scrub your name off of there? There's 4 people watching. You're one of them. If you want me to, I'll pull you off. There's a crazy story a few years ago on Pokemon at some Australian event where after lunch break, someone vomited up some shrimp scampi mid-match. What? First of all, they have lunch breaks? Second of all, why the fuck are you eating shrimp scampi? Nasty day-old shrimp. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Where's Jesus? Why wasn't Jesus at this Pokemon event? Go ahead, get all your evolution-related jokes out now. So anyway, I didn't realize this was you, JK. He was busy at SWU. Big true. He had an event that day. He was busy stealing points from people. So I do remember seeing this. I didn't realize it was you. I immediately disagreed with removing the leaderboard. I think the leaderboard should be there. I was going to reply to this, and then the conversation had moved on so quickly that it was just like, whatever. I want to talk about the leaderboard for a second before we move into the other points, because I think that can be, and what I'm going to suggest is decoupling it. So it's kind of independent. I think that the points for qualification need to stay, because you do need to somehow equate a top 8, like X number of top 8s, Y number of top 4s, Z number of finals to a win. And RQs and SQs, which I will say at the top, I think all of them need to get like times 10 points, and I'm not exaggerating. Whatever the finish is in an RQ or SQ, times 10 points right now. Like, that would be the simple answer. I'm not saying that's the best answer. I have better ones, but like, if they want to be lazy about it, just give them 10 times the points. So that it basically doesn't matter, and it's just a tiebreaker between 2 players individually of like, so if Ian and Mike are, or if Tyler and Mike or Clues and Mike or whoever like are going head to head next season and they're both at like a gazillion points. Okay, well, what's the tiebreaker? Well, who won more PQs? That's what it'll boil down to. But I think that they should give way more points for the known and intended big events, regionals and sectors. Full stop. However, I think the leaderboard should still exist, just decouple it. So yes, it is more complicated to have 2 tracks of points, because I think points probably are the best way to granularly handle this. Open your DM. I'm always scared about my DMs. We'll look at that in a second. I think the leaderboard should continue to exist because there should be the best of the best of the best prize. Now, I think that they need to do more, and a lot of suggestions, I think Ian's brought this up, a number of people brought this up in Discord, that it should be, and when I say Ian, we're talking about Lego Pizza, the ECL guys, you know, those guys that are tearing everything apart, guys that are tearing up every event, those guys. I think it was Ian's suggestion, but it could have been Mickey, it could have been somebody else. Like, have a day one, all the top 32 people are getting invited, right? They're getting travel and room and board, well, maybe not board, but they're getting room at Vegas. On Friday, they should have an invite-only event for the top 32 where they play for some other cool-ass prize. And it's just like whatever fucking wacky format. They could all be playing Twin Suns for all I fucking care. But they should have a spectator event where it's just like here's the best players in the world playing against the best players in the world doing the equivalent of like a triathlon, but for SWU. I think that would be cool. I think they should then give them extra cool prizes and stuff like that. But in order to have something like that, or to even incentivize people to want to be top of the leaderboard, because I'll be honest, I'm never going to make it. But I've been in the position where I could have been the top of the leaderboard for a lot of games. And a bunch of people who are in chat right now have been here for some of these games. Like when I was playing Mythgard and we were super into Mythgard. Before that game collapsed, I could have probably tried for top one, and we would always debate about what the ladder system is because it ultimately just rewards playing a fuck ton of events. That's why more effort needs to be put into how you calculate. And I'm not saying you're not. I'm just pointing because I'm referencing this. More effort needs to be put into how you calculate said leaderboard so it doesn't just reward going to 85 6-person fucking PQs to rack up points. And this is not a knock against people who are doing that because that's what the system rewards. So good for them. That was me that said that. They should be a top 32. Well, then it's a great fucking idea, Clueless. Why aren't they doing it? They should. Oh, yeah, I'm not crapping on you, JK. Don't worry. Like, this is not intended to piss on your idea. This is just up here because it's giving the soapbox launching point. So I think they need the leaderboard. I think it is cool. At my locals, I have observed this, that people talk about the player of the year race and like what was happening at the PQ where Mike flew down to fucking Houston from wherever in God fucking New England that he lives. He flew down to Houston because one of the guys in Europe potentially could surpass him. Now, personally, I think that's fucking insane, but it is a cool story for people to get excited about, like the random players at locals. Like, oh, did you hear? Well, so-and-so might be able to overtake the number one person on the leaderboard, but they're going to go down to this peak. And like, that gets people excited and invested. They need to talk about teams on the official coverage. They need to talk about this stuff because otherwise people don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care. Then Mike shit stomped Houston. Well, yeah, I mean, so now he's locked up, but people like when underdogs win. Most people. I like when favorites win, but people like when underdogs win. People like when there's competition. Why do you think the NFL redid what they did years ago in order to try and introduce parity across the league? You could argue about whether it was successful or not. There's a lot of arguments that it's not, but whatever. The point is that they introduce salary caps and stuff to try and introduce parity because otherwise, if your team is not in it, you're not buying stuff. If your team is not in it, you're not watching ads. If your team is not in it, you are finding another fucking activity and then maybe not coming back. It's the same thing with SWU. You want people to be more invested, more that they are obsessing about your game. You want the more casual players to have hooks driven deeper into their gills. Tournaments are a great way to do that. But if they don't have skin in the game, they need something to care about. Yeah, the NFL has a ton of other issues. So, like, salary caps are good for sports. Yeah. But that's an entirely other discussion. It was just part of the example. So, point is, I think the leaderboard should stay. I think there need to be more rewards for the leaderboard. Don't worry, I'm going to get to more rewards for other tiers also. There needs to be even more rewards because that will also help address some of the other problems that we were seeing about incentives, where people are going to show up and they are going to be playing for real. And it's not like, hey, there is a significant amount of whatever on the line. And it's not just fucking jerk off, like circle jerk, paper bag on the head hand job. Like that's not enough to justify telling my buddy to go fuck himself. You can't have your points. Or for the other guy to go like, yeah, I get it. I understand why you're making me play this out. So I think the leaderboard should stay, but it needs to be decoupled because PQs are not the same as top 8ing a fucking sector or top 8ing a fucking regional. That is embarrassing. Why the fuck are those the same scale? That's actually fucking insane to me. I swear to God, I had someone look me in the fucking eyes and tell me that winning a PQ is always better than top 8ing any other fucking event. And I looked at him like I didn't know what to say because I thought he was actually having a psychotic episode. Because in what fucking reality is that true? That cannot be true. That's not real. This is like up is down kind of bullshit. You're telling me that the 7 other swinging dicks that were on the stage at Galactics last year are worse than the person who managed to fucking stay conscious through a 6-person PQ in East Bumblefuck? Get the fuck out of here! What drugs are you on? So anyway, coming back to the other points, we can't remove, and in no way do I want to deprive the people who are playing in these 6-person PQs. Look, you have your 6-person PQs. That's not your fault. That the game just isn't doing well. You know whose fault that is? That's fucking FFG's fault. So maybe they should get up off their ass and stop fucking giving themselves prostate exams and get the game sold. So don't punish those people. You will get at minimum, what you get today, right? Whatever everyone else could get, bare minimum, you get. I don't care if 4 people show up. I don't care if 4,000 people show up. You will at least get this amount of shit. However, my PQ win means the best player. True. Certainly the best player that day at the very least, right? So the way I look at it is, and this is kind of similar, I don't really get the whole points passing down thing. I guess that kind of alleviates what we saw today in terms of, like, I don't have to worry about scooping because if I win, then they just pass down anyway. So we're not, Adi Bali? If I'm saying your name right, we're not like, this is just here is the starting point. We're not crapping on this person. We're not taking this thing apart. We're just using it as the jumping point for the sake of discussion. If you can't get 10 people together for a PQ, you now get wrecked. Well, I think the minimum is 8. Technically, for an event, you only need 4. Beat this guy, well, that's not fucking hard. I got beat up at locals this week. But anyway. But I do think it should scale. So just tie it to the number of rounds. Like, that's a very clean way to do it. It's like, okay, you have a 4-round PQ. You only get the bare minimum. That's it. You get a 5-round PQ. Okay, we give you a little bit of a buff. You have a 6-round PQ, you get a little bit more. You get a 7-round PQ, you get the maximum benefits, whatever that happens to be. And that is not unreasonable or too separate from what is being presented here by Icarus. I don't know that, and I guess now that I'm looking at it, you didn't say it here. I think you had said it somewhere else about the points passing down, which I think gets a little confusing. But for the people who care about points, they'll understand it, or they'll just wait for FFG to update it. I have a fairly active community here in Dubai with over 20 people for weeklies and 35 for PQs. For its population, that's the best we can do. Yeah. So I don't, and again, I don't think, Adi, that this is intended to try and remove anything from, because does he say it here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, yeah. You definitely don't want to take away points from the smaller events. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. I think we just need to, like, rather than punishing people for having less, reward people for having more. Now, you will have people that are arguing, or will argue inevitably, because this has already come up, that they are being punished because they have smaller PQs. You are not. The other ones are being rewarded. And I understand it's a semantics argument, but it is also the reality. And I think that I'm not sure how else they can possibly support and recognize that some of these events, like, you can't scale the points based on who's there. Putting aside the complexities, that's also like of saying, well, like, is this player better than this player? And then that inherently impacts the leaderboard rating, and then the leaderboard rating, like, it's cyclical. You can just do it by size and say, look, you had to win more games than this person did, so you get more points overall. But those points are just jerk-off points, like they're feel-good points, other than a potential tiebreaker between leaderboard people. And that's why I think that the SQ and RQ points need to catapult to higher levels so that you don't have somebody who farms PQs. Now, there's an argument that they should have a 33rd spot, or maybe it's the top 31, and the 32nd spot, assuming it's not one of the preceding, is the person who wins the most PQs in a season. So you could, like, this is what I'm suggesting. You could either finish number 1 through 31, assuming they keep it at 32, right? 1 through 31, most points, just sheer number. Number 32, what's the last guy, Mr. Irrelevant from the NFL draft? So Mr. Irrelevant in SWU gets an invite. If they are not one of those people, they are the person who won the most PQs, full stop. Now, that still pushes people in certain geographical areas to have a higher advantage because we're in the Northeast of the United States. Northeast United States, very clustered. Certain places in Europe, very clustered. Other parts of the world are not going to have this option. It could feel a little unfair. It would also kind of feel unfair that, like, if you missed, you were number 32 and you don't get it because of the other guy, but there's also an argument that just win more games. I don't know. The idea would be to have more events to offset smaller communities. So that does conflict with one of the things I want FFG to do, which is they need to do better support for the events. So I talked about this in the last video, I think, last week. It is roughly $50 on average to go to a PQ in the Northeast. Almost all of them now are like $50 or around $50. And that's for constructed. Now, the prizes are commensurate. And it felt great. I won, like, the last one, I won 4 boxes and a box of carbonite. And, like, the regular PQ shit. But FFG only gives them a single case of product. Now, I don't know the shop's numbers. They gave away a bunch of product. They did do a bunch of sales. There was a funny moment where one of the Golden Dice guys, Brian, he may be in chat. He hangs out sometimes. He opened a serialized Salacious Crumb. I had to think for a second. So he opens a serialized Salacious Crumb. He then sells the Salacious Crumb to the store to buy a box of carbonite and opens a serialized Mando. It was like a hilarious moment. And they sold a bunch of product. I think there were 5 serialized that were opened on the day and some number of showcases. I don't know. I didn't get either of my stuff. I think all the good boxes went to everybody else, but that's fine. Point is, like, I got a lot of stuff for winning. I got a lot of stuff when I won at Bearded Dragon. I got a lot of stuff when I top 4'd at Red Seal and other events. There are other stores that are anemically bad. Like when I top 8'd in set 2 down in Maryland, I got 6 fucking packs. It's garbage. The issue is, why is FFG not providing more prizes? And this is where it goes to JK's point. If there are more events, there is zero chance that they are, I mean, there's zero chance anyway, but there's zero chance they're going to provide more prizes to events because they probably can't do it now. And I think that they should be providing the level of product that the store does not need to really dip into their own inventory at all. And the store can then lower, if you want higher attendance, you need to lower the fucking entry cost. You are literally pricing people out of it because you need to fill the Shark Tank with guppies. This is what happened to games like the original Verse card game and other games that are, we are a competitive game first. Not that Star Wars is trying to do that, but there's a certain point where people go, you know what? I am not as good as these people. It is not worth the time, energy, and effort. And although I am enjoying it, it is costly one way or another. That's how tournaments work. That's how competition works. You need more meat for the grinder. How do you get those people in the door when you're telling them that it's a 3-hour plus drive with tolls, with gas at like $70 bajillion a gallon, and then it's a $50 entry fee for them to get their dick knocked in the dirt for 2 hours, and then they got to go fuck themselves because they got to go find a place to eat, which is probably also going to be $50. The only people in the equation of consumer, store, distributor, producer, creator, designer, FFG has the deepest pockets here. They are the ones who are going to have to absorb the hit. And I don't think that there's another way around it. And I think that this will be a longevity issue for the game, like a legitimate fucking problem. You want people to show up to your events, but you know what people don't like? Getting their ass handed to them. You know what people like even less? Getting their ass handed to them and then going home empty-handed. Now, I am a competitive person. I have always been a competitive person. I play competitive sports. I play competitive games. Played competitive games outside of card games. Like I played competitive video games. I played other stuff. I've done tons of like either officially, like when I was playing sports at school, or I did intramural stuff, and it was always highly competitive. I understand how this works. And trust me, I like the idea that it is competitive, but I also like the idea of being able to continue to fucking compete. And if there aren't enough people to justify running the tournaments, I cannot, real life wise, justify playing a game that I'm only going to play like once a quarter. If it turned out that I could only go to like one PQ a year, or maybe travel to one of the sectors or something, I just straight up would not fucking play. So I need personally, I need the PQs, I need the 1Ks, I need things like that to give me a reason to even bother playing the game. But those people who are going to fill the room also need a reason to be there, and it can't be setting money on fire for 2 hours. They could go to the fucking movies and spend $100 if they wanted to do that, and not feel like they just got brutally clubbed to death with a fucking pipe. There's never going to be a perfect fix, unfortunately. It's just annoying how FG prioritizes international players over US. I don't think they do that. I legitimately don't think they do. I don't think it's reasonable to put it in, and this is true. I've said this for every game I played. I am not. Do I think people are responsible for their local communities? Yes, of course. But they are responsible in the way of don't fucking show your genitals at the event. Like that's the sort of thing. Like don't smell so horrendously bad that people are vomiting in the streets. Don't harass the other player. Like be a normal human. Show up. That's all you have to do. Like show up and don't be a douchebag. That's the responsibility level that I put on the players, because they're already shelling out money for everything. They are the consumer in this equation. It is the store's job to get people in the door. So they need to put on a good event. They need to offer things that are interesting and engaging and enticing to the players. And it is the game creator's job to ensure that the stores are capable and are in the position to entice said players into the event. And then that way, all three parts of that triangle succeed. And when one of them breaks down, we need to identify who's the most appropriate one to address that situation. And pretty much every time it's going to be the store or the first party. It is almost never on the players. Obviously not never, but almost never. Because guess what? If somebody's a douchebag in the store needs to deal with it. It's not on me as the individual to step in and go, hey, buddy, why haven't you showered in 6 months? It's on the store to go, look, you are literally a problem here because you're a douchebag to other customers, other players. Get the fuck out. Europe has more events than NA. They have much lower travel time. That's not that's not prioritizing them if they have a lower travel time. That's geography. What do you want them to do? Move the tectonic plates? Look, I shit on FFG a lot, but come on. They can't fucking cause an earthquake and move shit together. Just got back to you, buddy. Why haven't you shouted? Were you here for when I was like literally screaming? Typically, U.S. has more events to offset how big the country is and how absurd travel times can be. I don't know how much that plays in, and I think it is probably more based on sales numbers. I think the game is healthier in the EU than it is America. In all seriousness. Like, I think there are more people who play the game. Now, the travel does make it easier because it's probably easier to go from one end of Italy to the UK than it is for me to fly to California, hypothetically. I haven't actually checked, but sake of argument here. But I don't think that it is they've expanded stuff, and it's just a matter of stores wanting and being capable of doing it. We actually have a problem of there maybe being too many PQs because there's a bunch of shitty fucking stores that keep getting them. There have been some real horror stories this season, especially about terrible, terrible, terrible stores getting PQs. Now, I do not think that FFG is equipped to act. What the fuck is going on? My phone is like a million messages. Is everybody DMing me? Is that what's happening right now? No, it's unrelated. I did have like 80 DMs in the middle of these tirades. The fuck were we saying? Oh, the number of events. So I do not think that FFG actually has the infrastructure to manage this properly. I'm confident they don't have the funds to manage this properly. A new worse Satine got spoiled. Was there actually a spoiler? We could go back to me fucking shrieking about... I said this in our team chat. I am legitimately angry. I'm not like super angry, but I am honestly angry that we are getting Icon spoilers and we're not getting Ashes spoilers. First of all, we should have gotten the full fucking spoiler by now, in my opinion. We were never going to. I was never under the illusion that was going to happen. But we should have. I am legit. We are not getting this set for 2 more sets and 6 months. Why the fuck are we getting spoilers for this fucking set? I understand it was at a gaming show, so they needed to show something. But even if it was Homeworlds, which is coming out first, although my conspiracy theory is that they switched the timing, not for any reasonable fucking reason. There was just another logistical fuck up. I think somebody just screwed the pooch once again, and that's why they went, oh shit, we'll just make up some bullshit to put on the press release. I think that's my opinion on what happened. But that's conspiracy theory. Regardless, it pisses me off that we're getting fucking spoilers for something that's so far away. And I understand if only there was a set or big event to promote that was happening closer to the date. Yeah, I know. Like, one could only imagine what that would be like. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted information about icons, and I think it is good that the information is out there. But this is not a mythical man-hour argument. This is just, you could have done the spoiler. You have the spoiler. You could have done this. You could have made this entire fucking event about the thing that's coming out in like a month and a half. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Every time I think about it, I get angrier. I was saying it earlier, but like, look, I am not a great player. I need all the extra preparation time that I can get. And it is upsetting to me that they're basically saying, we'll just fucking wing it. Which I guarantee is what's going to happen at my fucking draft pod, is that I'm going to have some fucking doorknob sitting next to me feeding me cards, and they're just going to rare draft the whole fucking time. Or worse, they're going to be on the other side of me where I won't get any of the crazy picks because they're rare drafting, but everybody else at the table will, and I'll just, it's just a normal pack by the time it gets back to me. And then pack 2, I'll be like, what the fuck is happening? And then pack 3, I'm going to get smoked again. You don't know that. They're still working on it. Still need to fit. No, it's going to be a red leader that cheats resources. Come on. Set 1, we had Han, and now we have Lando. So it's got to be Han 2 and Lando 2. We need another Lando that cheats resources. He has to be red. So that way you could also aggressively negotiate. What scares me is all the things should be printed already. Like, I don't think it's physically possible for them to be printing. Like, if they actually had to change something right now, I don't think they could physically get it to the printer, get it printed, and get it back in time. But it would not, we joke, but it would not surprise me in the slightest if they were actually still tweaking balancing. Because some of the decisions that they make are insane. Like, it's actually insane. Now, I will say that I was originally going to do this week as my video. There were 2 instances this week where I was the casual player and I was arguing against the better competitive argument, for lack of a better way to put it, in other games. One of them was StarCraft 2. So they have a massive PTR patch. I don't know if anybody out there is a StarCraft fan or a StarCraft 2 fan, but they have a massive PTR patch right now. Massive in terms of implications. So they go from 12 workers that you start the game with. It's a real-time strategy game. You start with workers, you generate resources, you create an army, you go murder your opponent. But in StarCraft, especially compared to Warcraft, it's way more worker-focused. So they drop the number of starting workers from 12 to 8. It's a big decrease. And then they also change almost the entire identity of the Protoss race so that there's actually seemingly a trade-off between warp gate technology and regular training of units. For almost the entire history of the game, warp gate technology was superior. You just warp your guys in wherever the fuck you want to and you just go. Now there's a trade-off. So it's going to dramatically change things. But the reason why I bring this up is in watching a number of videos of people who are way better at the game than I am and way more invested in it than I am, talking about how this increases like build diversity early in the game and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, but all of that does is shit on casual players. And you are, because the guy in particular, the last one I watched was Artosis, who, if you're not familiar, he's a huge name in the StarCraft community. He has been professionally casting Korean StarCraft games since fucking forever. The guy, like, Tastosis was like the major duo, Tasteless and Artosis, in Korea casting these games for decades now. He's one of the biggest names in the space, right? And I'm disagreeing with him because he's wrong. But the reason that he wants a more technically challenging game, more micro-intensive. You need to jump through all these hoops and do all this stuff. It also increases the build diversity early in the game by allowing for more cheese, which I think is idiotic that you want that. But, okay, you're tired of seeing the same meta to compare it to card games. You're tired of seeing the same builds. You're tired of seeing the same decks. I get it. I don't agree with that, but I can understand why people don't like it. But here's the crux and why I was comparing it to FFG and the balance comment that just came up. FFG are not balancing for solely competitive play. And in fact, there's an argument where they should just tell every competitive player to go fuck themselves because it doesn't matter because they are not the primary consumer. They never have been and they never will be. I think Flesh and Blood is probably the only game currently that can argue that that is the case. They have a wildly different release schedule and management than any other card game. They don't have a license that they have to adhere to, all this other happy horse shit. And then Verse back in the day and maybe a couple in between. The competitive players are just the tip of the iceberg. They are the smallest percentage and they are inherently already invested and will continue to be invested. And there is a consumer cliff issue of how much you can only piss people off so much before they say, fuck it. And then they quit cold turkey. And it's kind of their mini game of how much can they piss everybody off while maximizing the other end, just like WotC's doing, where they don't give a... I mean, they care about competitive Magic, but they don't. They care about Commander. Why? Because there are infinite fucking Commander players who are all buying shit. Even if it's only a handful of stuff, there's so many of them that it's the Walmart approach, right? Like, I think we can all recognize this. And it's probably the identical thing for FFG. So the reality is that they don't need to worry about the fucking balance so much, but they do need to worry about the guys in my locals who are livid that Ahsoka is a Jedi and that Sabine is a Jedi, but not Force. There are people that are at my locals that are like actually legit mad. They are big fucking mad about this. That is probably a bigger deal than almost any of the balance implications as far as their financial bottom line, which is frustrating for me to say because obviously like I care about the competitive end of things, but I also recognize they are a business and they need to make money, keep the lights on, pay their people, all that shit. It's just frustrating that that is the reality of how a lot of these decisions are getting made. And I do think, calling back to the qualification discussions, that probably plays in. We only can make so many deck pods, so many day one deck pods. Whew, weird sentence. We can only make so many playmats. We can only do this because guess what? The fact that we make the 1,000th playmat, and if we make 1,000 playmats instead of 500, that's going to balloon these costs because now we hit a new threshold with the printer and then the logistical shipping costs, which they clearly cannot fucking handle. They cannot handle logistics. I don't know who the fuck is doing it there, or hopefully it's somebody new this year because all of this fucking year has been a debacle. It is, I would be embarrassed to walk into the fucking office with how bad it has been. Now, maybe some of this is not on them. Maybe it's on Fanfinity. Maybe it's on whoever the fuck ran the other European ones, OPE or whoever the fuck it is. Maybe it's on the US side. Maybe it's on the fucking president of the United States because that guy is an imbecile. Fucking Mango Mussolini. But the reality is that we're all sitting here with our dicks in our hands wondering why haven't we gotten Black Pack since fucking Milwaukee? Or whatever fucking event it was that people are still waiting them on. Shipping is terrible. I finally opened my box. It's got 0 liberties. Well, the collation, like how do we keep having collation problems? Like these are things that like, I don't know. I don't understand. And I'm sure there's a logical reason because everything seems like a conspiracy when you don't know anything, right? Like that's the internet saying, and it's accurate. But man, I can't defend them about anything. There's nothing in Star Wars Unlimited that I can't go, yeah, they fucked that up. Every single thing I can point to and go, yeah, they fucked that. I want to just get through like have we had a single major that has been unmarred by some sort of disaster? And some of it is not on FFG. Like there was some, like on stream, oh, somebody was cheating. Okay, they made a fucking mistake. Calm the fuck down, Reddit. All of you should go touch grass. Probably bathe. But, like, the prizes aren't there. The prize wall's fucked. This is fucked. That's fucked. Like, Jesus Christ, can we get through a single fucking event? Yeah, like, they could have, like, a single event where the prizes worked, but then there's some other I forget what happened in Atlanta, but there was something that happened. But it's like so many that I can't keep track of them. It's not, oh my God, here's the drama that like happened, and it's internet people like me trying to make drama out of nothing for clicks. It's like, no, there's actual fucking problems at, if not literally every event, virtually every event. And almost every time, it's just like, guys, FFG, please. What the fuck? Did you spend more than 10 seconds thinking about this? You know how much shit I would catch at work if I did this stuff? Most people? My only thought is that they are just so catastrophically understaffed. And this is before you get to any of the actual game problems. And I think the game itself, like the way I've been describing it, and I know there's a bunch of Magic players in the audience right now. I think Magic is a terrible game at its core. Magic is a bad game. Magic is salvaged by arguably transcendent card design. Now, they've had a lot of time. They have a lot of inertia. They've made a lot of mistakes. But you compare SWU, which I think at its underlying core is a vastly superior game and one of the better games to have existed. And it just gets rained fucking gross ass bloody flux diarrhea on it due to horrendous, boring card design. There are so many more things. And when I first started this game, I remember going to locals and talking to people during set one. And saying, man, I am so excited to see what they do because they've planted seeds for such cool ideas. And there's so much potential. And every fucking set is, well, let's make combat matter. Okay, great. My stat block charges into your stat block, or my stat block punches into your base stat block, and we just ignore each other for 99.9% of the fucking game. Except for the one point where I have to guess a 50-50 of, do you have this card or do you have this card? Because if you have this one and I guess right, I win. If I have this one and I guess wrong, I lose. Well, then fuck me. What kind of fucking game are we playing? Is this just fucking war? I played a bigger guy, so I went. That's why I don't like limited. I don't like limited because it boils, and don't get me wrong. There is skill in limited, but you know why there's skill in limited? Because you attached a game onto the game. Drafting is an entirely different game from playing the game. It doesn't matter what you're drafting. It could be Magic, it could be WoW, it could be SWU, it could be fucking Tiddlywinks. I don't give a fuck what you're drafting. It's a different fucking game. There's entirely different rules. So you stapled a second game onto the shittier version of the original game. Because all the cards fucking suck. It's boring. They're all dumbed down. And that's what Constructed feels like right now, with 90% of the fucking decks, is it feels like I'm playing, somebody fucking went in they took the fucking format, they took all of the sealed decks, and you know what they did? They fucking force-fed them protein shakes for like 3 days, and then said, have at it, now you have a Constructed format. What do you fucking do? I know I'm oversimplifying it, because like part of this is for the comedic effect. But I legitimately don't enjoy sealed or just limited in general most of the time, because it boils the game down to the elements that I like the least. I'm playing a card game instead of chess. I would rather play chess for the determinism, but I'd rather play a card game for the Vorthos. When you play limited, it strips all the Vorthos away and leaves only a non-deterministic chess game. A non-deterministic chess game that also adds an additional element of luck of, did the rest of the dinguses at the table get the assignment? Did they understand the assignment? Did somebody randomly open the bomb that there's just no way for me to fucking account for? Now, that's not to say that it can't happen in constructed, because guess what? Somebody could find a fucking silver bullet deck. Maybe somebody breaks the format like fucking ECL guys keep doing. But at least when I show up to play a constructed event, I say that I am choosing to do this thing because I want to spend the day performing this activity. When I show up to play limited, I get dictated to what activity I'm going to perform. And again, this is oversimplifying it, and I'm not trying. I know there's tons of people who enjoy limited that hang out here all the time. See, Atona's in there. Like, I know Atona does. It's fine. If you enjoy that, that's fine. I don't care. Everybody's like, we're not talking about serious real life stuff. Nobody's going to fucking die. So if you prefer something else, whatever. I don't fucking care. But I don't like it. And I don't like that there isn't a meaningful differentiation in my eyes between the current constructed environment and a lot of limited environments. It all boils down to the same fucking combat math. There's no way to reason, like Ian said it on UB however many weeks ago, control sucks in this fucking game. And yes, I've lost to it. I've been knocked out by it. In fact, I think I'm 0 forever against Duncan, who just refuses to play anything but red-blue villain. That doesn't make it good. It's still not a good deck or a good archetype in this game. And I think that drives unhealthy, skewed metagames. But at the end of the day, like I was saying earlier, they don't give a fuck, ultimately, about the competitive sphere. And they shouldn't. Because guess what? Nobody shows up to these events and plays the best decks anyway. And that's true of every game that isn't called Magic the Gathering. Every other fucking game, 70% of the room is going to be random bullshit. And I play random bullshit too. Now, I don't have that much attachment to the Star Wars portion of it, but I intentionally don't want to play the known best deck. Everybody has tested into this, and there's no way I've tested into everything and done enough reps with it. By the time that, because I'm usually taking the best deck. So if I wanted to learn Lando and show up at an event, I am going to be under-practiced by definition for the field and especially for the mirror. I do want something that is tier 1 that has a favorable matchup into whatever that deck is. But that is probably going to push me into the bullshit category because that usually doesn't exist. And then it becomes, okay, well, what tier 2 deck can I stomach to get through the day with? And I get that's something I'm doing to myself, but pretty much everybody's doing that too. And if we want to continue to have events that have a significant enough population, because from what I've been seeing, it's been decreasing over time. We're going to have, like, I was going to say we're going to have to tolerate that, but that isn't really the appropriate way to phrase it. It's like, that's just what's going to happen. There's no stopping it. The day that we can walk into a SWU event and regularly predict that tier 1 deck A is like 30% of the room, tier 1 deck B is 30% of the room, tier 1 deck C is 30% of the room, and the remaining 10 is, rogue stuff. We're going to have like 30-person events, and the doors are probably shuttering in the foreseeable future. I think we're forever going to have random Hunter and Bo-Katan level bullshit that's going to show up at PQs, because that means that there are enough people who are invested to justify playing in these events, spending their time, their money, their energy despite the fact that they will get clobbered. And there's no two ways about it. Like, as for Star Wars Shutters, we can have Hellbreak. We're going to have Hellbreak anyway. I'm telling you right now, I'm playing that game. Although I don't think there's going to be any place to play. I will be buying some product. I made it, like, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up this list. I'm not going to pull it up on stream because it's on my personal Google Drive, not my streaming account. So I pulled the Star Wars Unlimited events for Gen Con. There's a game called Shattered Gems. There's Hellbreak, Neopets. There's a Necromancer card game, Gundam, Flesh and Blood, Rush of Ichor, Riftbound, Chrono Core, Conquest of Fate, Sorcery, Cookie Run, Grim Path, Krampusnock, Cyberverse, Gudnak. There's a random game called Dogs with Jobs. That's not a related card game, but Singularity.exe, Zombie Days, Echo of Omens, Strike HQ. I don't remember if that was I think that was a card game. Shard Bugs, Overpower. There's a lot of games that I'm probably going to come home with some level of product for. Apparently the other monster in Hellbreak is not a Demogorgon. It's I think they're the monsters from A Quiet Place. I forgot what I was watching a video and they're like, oh, I think it's this monster. And I'm like, sure. I posted it into Discord. I forgot what they called them. But yeah, I do want to check that game out. It does look very good, but I guarantee it's going to die in like 18 months at most. I don't think that game's going to make it. Jesus Christ, Will. Oh my God. What game is Jesus playing there? Be healed. No more diarrhea. I want to believe Jaws can make it. I mean, Jaws, he's definitely in the game. That's actually hilarious. Well, look, I bring it up. Like, I consider myself a religious person. I am Roman Catholic. I love Jesus memes. I love religious jokes. Things making fun of the church. Things making fun of Christianity. I refuse to believe that an omnipotent God will not have a sense of humor. Just refuse to believe it. It's just not possible. But if the game dies, Jaws dies with it. I don't think that's true. I don't think those two things are linked at all. I think Jaws will be just fine. Wait, how long until the Jaws reboot? In all seriousness, why haven't we gotten a Jaws reboot? Okay, hold on. Before we look at what are going to be objectively terrible games. Is there a way to sort this by, like, when they were revealed? I think the platypus is evidence God is funny. As a Christian, I also find it funny to make it true. Like, it's funny. It's one of those things that I bring up because I don't want people to, like, worry. First of all, you're never going to fucking offend me. Unless you, like, well, I take that back. There are things that you could do, but we all know they are bad things. So if you're doing that, you're saying those things, you're a bad person. You're just going to get fucking banned. But so people are okay. Like, if you're poking fun at the Catholic Church or something, I'm probably going to laugh. Just click the spoilers on the main SWU page. Where is spoilers? Is it this? Okay, is this in order? Sorted by preview. Okay. Somebody's got to get me a contact for this guy. I need him desperately to, on the form search page, add an option to like just auto select, like a checkbox to select the premier sets. I'm tired of doing this. It's driving me insane. I can't take it anymore. All right. Student guide to the master. Give a friendly unit +1/+0 this phase for each other friendly unit with less power. This is obviously supposed to be with Ahsoka, but like, who cares? Like, if this said attack with a unit and give it +1/+0, maybe. But at best, you're going to get 3, which would make it a cheaper surprise strike, but I don't know. I think most people... I didn't watch Ophir's video on this. Like, I just didn't get to. Like, if you manage to have 4 dudes out, aren't you already winning? And then if you give them an action to deal with your dudes, I don't know. Do we have a full cycle of these? I was talking about this at locals. I'm pretty sure we have like a ton of... First of all, why are there ant droids? I don't understand what these things are doing. Second of all, are these a cycle? Because we have the mouse droid, we have this, we have the yellow Palpatine messenger one. Is there a blue and red one or a hero one yet? I don't know why we're getting all these one-cost droids. I don't think you want this in limited. Do we have any, like... I don't think there's an XP leader this set, but do we have a pay one, do a thing leader? Oh, so this is the Book of Boba Fett guy. Deal 1 damage to another friendly unit. If you do, search the top 5 for a unit, reveal it, and draw it. Why? I'm not a fan of this, especially since he can't do it to himself. We already knew about this. I don't know how to feel about this thing. This is one of those cards that, like, this probably would have been bonkers in another game. In this game, I just don't know that it's doing anything. You'd have to have initiative going into Resource 5. They'd have to have no way to deal with this thing. And you would have a guy that they would want to kill, but wouldn't want to have it come back. I don't know. Why isn't it, like, why didn't it stay in order? I realized it was not doing it in preview order, but why was it not doing it in order when I did it that way? Whatever. I was doing it so it was easier to read. I like Koska. It's probably a 6/6 for 4 with Sentinel. Air quotes 6/6. I don't know that 4/4 is good enough on Resource 4. But Mandos seem to matter, so, like, probably gonna see play. Paz is pretty good, but not into blue villain, because it's going to be real awkward when he gets no gloried. Probably still gets played, though. Because, like, you definitely want him against aggro. I was saying this in Discord, but I don't like how low to ground aggro looks right now. I think it's going to get fucking clobbered right now. Just because, but admittedly, a lot of the previews just happen to have been blue and green. Certainly some of the best ones, so maybe it's just confirmation bias. Bo-Katan seems like ass for the most part. People were debating about, like, is she better than Avar? And I forget the other one they were talking about, but I mean, Avar's terrible, so that isn't very difficult. That's a very low bar. I would still keep an eye on her just because, like, maybe we'll get 4 more Costco Reeves because they have like a raging boner for Mandos or something. I don't know. Exhaust a friendly unit and an enemy unit. If you do, give 2 advantage tokens to that friendly unit. What? There are way too many words on this card. And none of them seem good. So I don't actually like this, Luke. I'm not a huge fan. Because it's like, if you're already winning, you get to... Like, he seems win more. I get the argument that he's good into Vader. Or something like that. He is 1 cheaper than Hyperspace Disaster. What's funny to me, though, is that this card, and there was something else that's like, oh yeah, this actually lines up really well into Vader. Okay, why didn't we get these in set 7? I understand this Luke is the theme for this set because it takes place in Mando, it's Ashes of the Empire, it's after Return of the Jedi, blah, blah. Okay, well, put it on a different fucking card then. Why did we have to suffer through this miserable fucking meta now when we could have had this card then? What about Jedi Masturbates? There's a guy that needs a shower. He's a little too sticky. Admiral Akbar. What is happening to Mon Calamari in the background? Like, that guy is extremely unhappy at whatever he's looking at. I don't really grok how to understand this guy. I've seen a lot of comparisons to U-Wing. Seen a lot of comparisons to a variety of other things, but like somebody was suggesting because you play him for free, oh, well, you can crap out a Victor leader, which is like, I think for any of the ones where you're playing these off aspect cards, you know, like you're playing, say, Villain Force and you were playing Kiadi, or you're playing hero stuff like Chewbacca and you're playing no disintegrations. You want to be able to play the card, whatever it is, reasonably, like actually play it in the event that it happens. Kiadi for 6, I didn't mind it. No disintegrations out of Chewie, you can set up a kill on anything. It's challenging, obviously, because it's off aspect, but like what? Okay, you get a 2 cost and a 3 cost. And one, so you get, let's assume this works. You get Victor Leader, and you get Phoenix A-Wing. Is that even good? Like, in all seriousness, is that even a acceptable board state? Like, on Resource 5, would you even want to do that if you could? Like, I've had tons of turns, and we all have, where it's, well, I'd like to play my on-curve play, but I can't, so I'll resource so that I can play these 2 smaller things. And you go, okay, that's fine. But this gives you the chance to whiff. Like, what if you only get 1? What if you get none? I don't know how you'd do that, because you'd obviously build your deck with this in mind, but math is math, and it doesn't give a fuck, so it's entirely possible you just miss with it. Like, I don't like this guy. There might be something that I haven't thought about in terms of, you know, like these things. Like maybe you shit, well, these aren't space, so that wouldn't work. I was going to say, like, maybe you shit out a bunch of droids that set up some kind of wombo. But they got to be space units, so I don't know. I don't know who the Glup Shitto is next to Akbar. You can play a hero unit from your hand. It costs 2 less for each arena in which you control the most units, which I think it'll count itself. Like, this doesn't seem unreasonable, but we already have Amidala, so, like, do you need more of these effects if you're blue-green hero, which I think would be where it's going to live? Sounds like a skill issue. On which part? Dragon Snake Bog, sure. Emperor's Throne Room. I don't get what the cycle of joy whiffing. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta want it bad enough. If you don't want it bad enough, you're not gonna get it. Like, are these just limited fodder? This thing would seem fine in Magic. I don't know if this is good enough in SWU. We'll have to see. Say for Mouse Droid. Play Rat. So this thing looks like Plague Rat. Like, it actually looks like one of the alt art Plague Rats. Or not Plague Rat. It's not Relentless Rat. It was one of the Endless Rats? Is that the one where it's like you discard a card, like you pay 2 and a black, you discard a card and then put a counter on it, and then an additional counter for every counter or something? Like, it was one of the ones that was like a 1-card combo for a while. Somebody posted a picture of it, but anyway. Mouse Droid, I don't care about. Unless they introduce Storm into this game, I don't care. Apparently people were really upset about Elzar Man, or as I call him, Hugh Man. Thank God we have more Vader stuff. I don't know. Like, he might, like, 5 advantage tokens could be a lot. Giving them 10 cards to go tutor seems bad. Especially because they get an action right away. It would be one thing if, like, this game worked like Magic. So you could play this and then get your advantage off of it before they had an opportunity to play. It's like, oh, you tapped out? Great. Go ahead and tutor up a card. You can't even fucking play it. And you could do that in this game, but that means that you have so many guys and so many actions that your opponent was able to claim, and you could leverage this. That just seems crazy. But notably, he works with Luke and Vader pilots, so you get an untapped 3/7. He has to give the advantage tokens to a different unit. He can't give it to himself. But you could... I could see scenarios where he works in those pilot decks. That's going to be annoying. Fairy Droid seems like limited fodder. I actually like flanking TIE Interceptor. It's probably not good enough. Unless there's some synergy. Because on turn 1, a 2/2 is like a blank 2/2 is not worth it. But it's not bad later in the game. Like on Resource 4 to action cheat, because you get a body and get to attack. So if you want to go 2/2 on Resource 4, this allows you to hypothetically keep initiative. Whereas previously, you would always give up initiative. Yeah, people have been saying that the art has been improving, and there are pieces that I thought were egregiously bad in previous sets, but I never thought the art was that bad. I think the issue is it's so many distinct styles in a singular set. And if they would say, so they have a hyper cartoony style that's just like weird proportions and like over the top nonsense. Then they have a comic book style. Then they have a photorealistic style. Then they have like a painting style. Where it is like an oil painting almost. If they made like one color is one style, like every card that is that color in that set is that style, and then next set they rotated it or something, maybe, and then they did different art treatments in the promos and other shit. So that way you didn't have to like, oh, well, my Vader's my favorite guy, and he looks like dog shit in this set because he has the cartoony style, or he has the oil painting style, or whatever. Then you could go for some of the other ones. I don't know. I think it's the mishmash of, like, look at Emperor's Champion and Nowhere to Hide. These are clearly different art styles, which is fine. They're different, but I think it is jarring to have them next to each other. And it's just like, it makes things stand out negatively. Anyway, so we got our creature for this set. Thank God that we got creature tribal and that it was supported so well both in Legends of the Force and every subsequent set, because FFG does in fact love introducing mechanics and then supporting them fully, saying it with their chest. And by that, I mean... Thank God we got Womp Rat. What is the fucking point of this card? I don't mind different art styles. I think it was inevitable for a game with so many artists. None of these look like Melting Chewbacca. Which one was Melting Chewbacca? Because there have been some funny Chewbacca arts. I want to see which one you think was Melting Chewbacca. I don't know why I did that. Like, these are all... I think this one's the funniest. I actually like... This is my favorite Chewbacca art. I think the other ones are all ugly as fuck. They all look weird. This one looks like his body is 3D, but his head is 2D. Like he was decapitated and somebody stuck a fucking cardboard cutout on it. This looks like a man literally wearing a fursuit. They make him look wet. Well, this one, he doesn't look wet, but this one, he 100% looks like he's wet. This one is another, first of all, his head. What is going on with his head? He literally looks like there's a dick with fur on it. Chewbacca Galactic's version was hilarious. I don't remember that one. Which version was it? But like, aside from dickhead Chewbacca here, there's something about them with proportions where this one, it's just because his hand stands out a little more. This isn't the most egregious example, but there are ones where it's like someone's hand is the size of like a fucking steering wheel, but their head is a thimble. And it's like, no one's arms are that long to create that level of fucking visual distortion that their hand is a watermelon and their head is a grape. Chewy Pilot? Yeah, it'll have the other versions. That is a choice. What is in his bandolier? Tofu? That, oof. This Chewy, I don't know. Like, God. This Chewy just reminds me of Gumby. I don't know why. My first thing is I look at this Chewy and I think Gumby. There's a wild thing. None of these Chewbacca arts look like the same character. They all look like Wookiees, but they all look like different Wookiees. They absolutely do. And I think that's also part of the problem. I think I don't know how many quantity-wise artists they have, but I think that is part of the issue with the game, is that I'm fine with different styles. I'm fine even with incoherent stuff, personally. Because I'll ignore it or I'll find the stuff that I like or whatever. But there is it almost comes across as unprofessional as he keeps changing his skull shape. You didn't know that's the Wookiee ability. They can shapeshift, but only change their skull shape. The plates don't fuse or something. I don't know. I bet there's an entire Wikipedia entry on it. Oh, I thought this guy had Sentinel for a second. Why does this guy not have Sentinel? Aren't these fuckers literally called the Emperor's Guard? I don't think I care about this guy. In Limited, he's probably fine. He's probably pretty good in Limited. And in Constructed, I don't know. Nowhere to Hide is interesting. It's actually... I wonder if it's okay as like other lane removal. It's not very good. If there's a card that cares like how many upgrades your opponent has and punishes them for it, then it could be good. Somebody was talking about playing this in Snoke, which sounds cool until you realize like all you're doing is putting a 0-3 into play. Which I get this is supposed to synergize with the Palpatine leader. So it's like you support a guy, now there's 2 guys tapped, you have an extra guy on the board, you technically played it for free, so that means that you're able to put another advantage token. It's just like, I don't fucking care. It's way too many hoops. This is the fake surprise strike, which apparently does not work with you, Lauren, the way it's worded, which is annoying. I hate Ewoks. They fucking make me angry. It's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry. But I hate that Ewoks exist. If you say so, Donna. I mean, like, it's probably fine, but there's no Ewok synergy as of right now, and they're not. They're gonna put like, they will have 3 useless cards that are like, if you have Ewoks, do this, or give an Ewok XYZ, and then they'll never support it. It'll be just like creatures all over again. So we were talking about this rash action. I didn't realize it was hero, because the context was villain discard based aggro. I only learned about that cartoon relatively recently. I like this card, or I want to like this card, but I don't think this is good enough. I don't think that there's enough discard to overcome this being a draw 2 game. Okay, speaking of things I hate, Alphabet Squadron U-Wing. This sounds like it's a meme. Like, this sounds like something derogatory, that they're just insulting that everything's A-Wings and B-Wings and X-Wings and Y-Wings. So now it's Alphabet Squadron. What the fuck? So he gets advantage tokens, so he's technically always a 6/6. Unless you have some way to untap it. So 5 for 6/6 with Overwhelm, like, that could see play. I don't even remember seeing this card. Talked about those. Long Live the Empire, I think, will be a thing, but it's obviously pending. This is another one of those cards that they introduce, and then they go, oh, that's cute. You thought you'd get Imperials, and they'll never print an Imperial for the next 2 years. Or every Imperial will be dog shit. Or be off color, so like you can't actually fit it all in the same deck. Or they'll all be like this, where it's just like you're so far up the curve that at that point, I'm not doing this thing. I actually do like this. We've been talking about this in Boba. Because of the support. I mean, you care about the Sentinel, but you don't care. The main advantage is that it is a 4/6, so it's a sizable body. And because of the support, it allows you to action cheat, and then you most likely have initiative going into Resource 6 as Boba, which is a big advantage. Would Void be a good card? The Invasion card, Void? It was playable briefly. You're talking about the 3 black-red, pick a number, they destroy everything in play with converted mana cost equal to that, and they discard everything with converted mana cost? Replaces Dornian? Yeah, I think so. Probably not, because I think you curve out too much. I think it's very difficult to get. You might get a 2-for-1, but on Resource 5, I don't know if that's good enough. And your opponent, so like Wrath of God would probably feel way less powerful in this game printed as is, simply because it's a draw 2. So like even if you discard multiple things from them from Void, it's a draw 2 game. That was one of my favorite cards from that set, like that and Blazing Spectre. That was the deck I wanted to build, but I did not have the funds to build at the time. I mean, that's part of the reason that control is bad in this game, is because it's a draw 2 game. Like, you can never really get over the hump. And they don't want to make, seemingly anymore, control units, control creatures that will like truly stabilize. And it's like, oh, I slam this down, I will get a couple more turns. Or this will close the game out while also disrupting you. Yes, we have Liberty, but tapping one guy is like, I think Liberty seems way better than it is because they nerfed everything else. But I don't think Liberty's carrying the control archetype by itself. When this unit readies, you may pay 3 if you don't exhaust it. So this is weird. It's funny because it looks like Luke is looking ahead, but Vader is looking at you in the art. Like, it looks like a painting that's designed to make it look like it follows you as you move. Morphling would suck in SWU because your opponent could do things between activations. They would probably condense some of the things. Also, a lot of creatures would have to get reworked if you were to convert them from Magic to SWU, simply because, like, it would be the same thing in WoW, if you think about it, because, at least for this argument, they can just attack it. Whereas in Magic, you only have to be concerned with, I'm protecting it from removal. Also, damage is permanent, so the +1 and -1, or -1 +1, would change things dramatically. I don't know, Conflict Within feels like it is not unlikely to see play. It's early enough in the game that it's functional, or functionally removal. It's pretty bad removal, especially late in the game, but like early on, what are they going to do? Take their entire turn to untap their turn 1 play? Like, who fucking cares? The problem is that it doesn't deal with the thing immediately, so it's really only good on turn 2 plays. And after that, you're underdropping it. Like, it's a really bad condemn. B-Wing Rear Guard. Well, you control a grab. Who cares? Battered Hallcraft. 1 play, deal 1 damage to this unit, 1 damage to an enemy space unit. That's just, like, this is limited fodder, I think. Here's more vanilla idiots. Here's the best card in the set. Look, I want to play Gideon because he looks dope as fuck. That armor looks fucking sick. And whatever the, like, bow staff that he has, I forget what they're called, because they're like the Magna Guards had that, right? Like Grievous's guys. It's not Cortosis, is it? Where are my Star Wars nerds? Somebody tell me what, like, that has to be able to stop lightsabers, right? The Darksaber's technically a lightsaber? I don't know. But anyway, like, he seems pretty sick. I don't know how much his front side is going to do, but, like, Far, Far Away Lay is definitely going to get played. I do really want to test this because it's not an insignificant downside. And it's very easy to tunnel vision on the Codebreaker plays, but, like, and yes, it's easy to say, oh, I'll just bounce a token, but sometimes bouncing the token matters. The dumb joke. It's a very easy joke, and everyone's going to refer to it, so you just got to live with it. You got to embrace it. Ruck. I don't know. Sure, I guess. Like, I don't think this guy is unreasonable. I just don't know. Like, is there a green-yellow villain deck that even wants to exist? Like, was there any green yellow villain that was even close? Like Krennic, I guess, right? That was the closest thing. So he would have to open Imperial Droid this. Every time someone says it, I'm just going to tell him get ready to get toppled. Weren't you going to tell him that anyway? I hate that the new Hera exists. It's the same as whatever card I was talking about before, the about fighting the space versus ground race. It's just dumb. I think all the others are old previews. Yeah, all the others are old previews. I've been getting told that Grogu has been underwhelming, which kind of surprises me. But all right, let's see what bad Carabas games are going to observe. They have not implemented a lot of the new stuff, so like Gideon isn't on here yet. I guarantee we're going to see like infinite Gideons. Like the way we're seeing Luke's right now, we're going to see so many Gideons the second he's implemented. I don't know about the gauntlet. But this is actually kind of interesting how this is playing out, and a possible concern of mine for Luke. So we'll see how he adapts. We did not get a Sabe deploy. Ooh, a Chewie. That's a resupply carrier. All right. Here we go. Restore Bazillion. 10 is a lot. 10's a fairly big number. But we're looking at restore 8 right now. Restore 9, actually. If he wants it. You do have to do some math here, because the Sabe should be running negotiations. Dude, I have no idea how Sabe wins this. Unreal. Oh no, you took my protect the pod. What will I do? I'll probably just hit you for 1 billion. And heal all the damage. That's kind of annoying. Or is it? I haven't really thought about what Sabe looks like, but that did not look close. That did not look close. Oh, this is mono green Ahsoka? I don't know about that one, Chief. Scourge that is blue-green hero. The syphilis that is blue-green hero. So here's a question going back to the earlier discussion. If you were designing the tournament qualification structure, and it's a points-based system, and we're going to say 100 points get you qualified. Qualification in this context means that you are just in the event. You don't have to play the LCQ. How many, this is a two-part question, and there's obviously implied multiple other parts. How many top eights at PTQs, ignoring any larger events, is sufficient to earn you a qualification? And the follow-up question is, how many 9th place finishes are sufficient for you to get a qualification? Like, how many should you have to get? I was saying it earlier, but ultimately it becomes a question of what equals what. You know, how many top 8s are equal to a top 4? How many top 4s are equal to a finalist? How many finalists are equal to a win? FFG is seemingly of the opinion that 3 finalists are equal to a win, and that 4 top 4s are equal to a win. Right now, you need, I think it's 6. Is that the right math? You need 7, right? I think it's 7 to qualify at 15 points apiece. Never do math on stream. So is 7 too much, too little? We got there. We got the bow. Looks like Bo is going to make a comeback. I'm not thrilled about that. I'm not sure how many. I mean, I lean towards making it easier to qualify, but I know people feel differently. Why did he attack the Adigalium? I guess he figured it's going to die anyway, so he might as well get some extra damage on it. I'm feeling bored in a new way with this game right now. Because we know that there's going to be a big shakeup. But every day it's just waiting for meaningful enough information to be able to really dive in. I also keep hoping against hope that they're going to do something that makes the game more interesting, but I doubt it. I doubt it. People keep trying fucking Benthic and Highsinger and you, Lauren. I don't like it. I need Cad. I have no attachment to Cad. I don't really have, I mean, I like Boba Fett as a character. I like Vader and a number of other critters and things in the game, but I don't care that much. I'm more interested. Somebody posted on Reddit, they're like, when you build decks, do you build them for the cards or for the characters? Or however they worded it. But it was like, are you doing it more for the Star Wars end or are you doing it for the card game end? Like, whatever one is interesting and fun to play. And competitive, obviously. I'm not playing bullshit. Old for Ligma. This is a different side of Ahsoka that we haven't really observed in a lot of other games. I don't recall seeing a lot of Ahsokas activate her before deploy. What? Underwhelming barrage. Card game, I'm not building stories, I'm trying to win. Arguably, if you aren't trying to win, you aren't playing the game. You're doing an activity with game pieces. There are plenty of people that obviously interact with the game that way. I've spoken to a number of them. It's like, that's fine, but don't get mad at me for playing the game when you're making up your own fucking rules. That's a you problem. Now, I've been in that position. Like, I love Transformers, so when I would get upset when my favorite Transformers were not competitively viable. We never got a good Megatron. He's not even one of my favorite Transformers, but like we never got a good Megatron, and it's like, how is that possible? But I still played the competitive deck. I mean, I would play bullshit at like locals or whatever, but I'm going to play the deck that's going to give me the best chance to win. Aggression gets a new leader who can deal direct damage to bases without attacking with the units. I bet it's going to deploy for like 95, and it's going to cost $7 to activate its ability to deal damage to bases. It's going to be like a worse version of the Battle for Hoth Vader. Was RC good? RC was good. Her set 1 was playable, but quickly fell off. And then I think there was an RC that came up later that was playable, if I remember correctly. The problem is that they took the approach that I've talked about before, where, and I was told this point blank, that they designed, I had asked them, like, why did you make these characters good instead of more well-known characters, essentially? And the response was, well, we're doing it similar to what Pokemon does, where instead of making the popular Pokemon good, we make the no-name Pokemon good so that you get excited about the no-name Pokemon and therefore, hypothetically, like either buy more stuff or, you know, you get more involved in the lore or whatever. I'm like, or you could just let me play the guys I fucking like. Like, it was absurd to me that there was never a Megatron deck that was actually good. There were some that were kind of close at different points, but they never were. There was always a good Optimus deck. Full stop. But like, why was Blaster? Admittedly, when I first saw them, I thought Soundwave was going to be better than Blaster. And then once I played with it, my teammate Scott had built the deck, and I played it. I'm like, this is actually fucking broken. But like, why is Blaster better? Soundwave is an infinitely more popular character. Well, yeah, it's not that they never make the popular character good. But for example, in Mew, like I played Mew. No one's favorite Pokemon, well, I'm sure there's somebody's favorite Pokemon is Genesect. But like Genesect was the reason that Mew was good. That deck would not function without Genesect. And if Mew didn't exist, Genesect would probably find a different home. But there's a difference between, oh, well, my support Pokemon that is supplementing the main attack. Like, you talk about it, it's a Mew deck. Or it's Mew Genesect. It's never just a Genesect deck. Nobody described it that way. So it's one thing to have the no-name Pokemon be prominent in the big deck, but not be the focus, right? So in Transformers, you played like at the end of set 1, the best deck was Optimus, either Flame War or Optimus. Who the fuck was it? Like possibly RC or whatever, because you play the 13-star Optimus, you play the 7-star Optimus, and then you play a random 5-cost guy and it was a very defensive control deck. But nobody gave a fuck about Flame War. Like, she was actually the reason the deck won, because she was actually fucking broken. But I can almost guarantee that nobody in chat knows who the fuck Flame War is. But that's fine, because it was the Optimus Battlefield Legend deck. Because Optimus was the important, powerful card. Pokemon's weird because a lot of lesser like Pokemon would be really weird ass decks. Check out my sick Magikarp deck. I think some of the... Technically, because they have like Vs and EXs, they could do that. I don't think there will ever be a Magikarp deck. Although, I personally think they should do it because it would be hilarious. And I think people actually would get excited about it. Like, legitimately, imagine if there was an actual fucking Magikarp deck. You don't think people would get excited about that? If there was a legit Magikarp deck? That would be bonkers. That is a very early fucking Lawbringer. SWU Lauren could be in trouble. The problem is, no matter what you play, it's going to get tagged by the Krennic deploy, but you need a big enough threat that they need to tag it. Otherwise, you don't push enough damage with you, Lauren. But I think, like, play a big idiot. I would have... Really? He has to have another negotiations. If he has another negotiations, he wins. Well, they could have a Sentinel. Negotiate? He's got it. Trying to think what a not super high Pokemon would be to cool see. I just realized how funny a Butterfree tramp stamp would be. What? What? How did you go from not super hype Pokemon, which first of all, Butterfree is like a popular Pokemon, but how did you go from that to Butterfree tramp stamp? And I'm confident that there are people walking around right now with Butterfree tramp stamps. Like, that's a fairly safe bet. Vegas would never give you odds on that. I mean, technically, you could say any butterfly that's there could be a Butterfree. And I've seen butterfly ones, so... Get toppled, nerd. Guess what? Boba's still doing Boba things. But somebody was saying it in chat, or not in chat, in Discord earlier, that they're kind of annoyed that it's like all these random glup shittos that are the tier 1 decks. And it's not the Vaders and the Lukes and the Boba Fetts and the Palpatines and the whatevers. And to me, everyone from the prequel trilogy is a glub shido. They're all fucking useless. I hate them. Every single one. Honest to God, I think I don't think there's a single character from the prequel trilogy that I didn't find irritating. I hate that my slave Leia waifu card is not viable. I've had many people say that they are very happy that there are no waifu cards in this game. I am confident we will never get a slave Leia card. I'm okay with it. No, I want to see the I want to see the Grogu Yularen match. Like, there's just no way that this thing is ever going to be good. Boba good, Sabe bad. Sabe is not a good deck. It never was. Like, it was mid before in set 6. Like, it was playable, but it was another in the infinite fucking jizz pile of, well, these are random tier 2 decks that I guess you could play if you don't want to play good cards. So you're going to end up on Reddit. You're going to end up on Reddit. All right, we have a blocker here. Lol. I don't know what the fuck this Grogu player does. I think you Anakin the Yularen maybe and hope. He probably doesn't want to do that because he wants another way to generate the Force, but it doesn't matter. Honestly, the Yularen player could probably just claim and then just negotiate the hand in and kill you. Just want the rest of the fucking spoiler already. I'm tired of this. I downloaded some demos for other games because I'm thinking about, like, maybe this next week, like tomorrow, Monday, and then like next weekend, I just stream other stuff and not SWU. Because what's the point right now? Like, how many mono green Ahsokas can I watch? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I want to play aggro at Galactics, if for no other reason than to just get everything over with quickly. However, interesting. Can you kill your own guy? You can. He could have hypothetically killed the Karn to then ramp if he wanted. This Deidre's in a very awkward spot. I want to play blue-green villain, I think. But the issue is going to be going to time. I don't want to go to time every fucking round. I don't want to have to carry around 10 pounds of protein bars because I don't get to eat all day or something. I want to say I don't know how this aura loses, but we'll see if they find a way. I checked out SWU math. No, what is SWU math? I also feel like the only person who is not a fan of this Vader, but we'll see. Part of it's because he can still be beguiled. So, like, oh, he doesn't do anything the turn he comes out. And then I can just beguile him first action. Condemn and Shin. Oh, the other Shin Hottie. Got some math calculation you can run for things like top cut calculation, disclose consistency, and stuff like that. I know poor Depot put in a lot of effort to at least have the first part. Because some people were asking about, like, at the PQ, what they would need to get to certain cutoffs. I don't know that they've done calculations for disclose or anything like that. That is a relevant resource to have. A lot of what I've done thus far has just kind of been on vibes. You could easily die to negotiations here. Maybe this aura is going to get cooked. I don't know. Actually, just like a Devastator and they're dead. Control bad, who knew? When people were speculating today about what the surprise announcement that turned out to be Icons was going to be, I was hoping that there were a bunch of people talking about, like, oh, they're going to ban this or they're going to ban that. And Ian's like, surprise, they're banning negotiations and Piet, because fuck Piet. So does that actually read from Melee? That SWU math site? That's actually pretty useful. Shatterpoint is pretty big. Is this matchup OB favored? I could see that being the case. We have more than a few people desperate to get the new villain protectors in. I love how everything, it's a shielded sentinel. All right, make a play on words about village people. I'm curious about this Krennic list, but has there really been anything? I guess you get the villain protectors. Why else are you Krennic? I mean, like, I kind of like Krennic, but I don't think he's good enough. Let's ping the shield. Who deploy? Poor K. Oh no, he double ramped. I was thinking that was resource 6. Oh my god. Is this thing Imperial? Ooh, that's actually kind of interesting for what's his face? Gideon. Lol. This is the issue. Is this Mando ever gonna get initiative back without having like a really bad turn or something? What? Why did you do that? He definitely thought advantage tokens gave him health. No, play the Zeb. Like, the advantage tokens on the spy there, I guess it'd be okay. Because then you, you're at least getting the burn if he attacks. Or you're denying him a play. Remembers. Sick. But you can't. Wait, do you have to do it? You have. This is not a May. Do they count as your upgrades? I didn't catch whether that. Why did that only ping one to base? Yeah, 3 advantage tokens. Each one should be its own upgrade. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because the Krennic player did heal, so maybe he was lower. So they don't die until end of combat, I think, and he heals 2 off the Corvus. So that's probably why it only registered the 1. Because the Corvus has restore 2. Chad, I realize that there's actually a bunch of movies that I want to see. None of them are Star Wars related. Honestly, I think the main thing is I just want to see the He-Man movie. I guess. When does this? Okay, so it's a different phase, so it does go back to being 4. This is going to be extremely awkward if this guy has the legacy. Well, actually, he's at 12 now, so a legacy means that there isn't enough damage unless he gets an attack with it. So hypothetically, he could Shatterpoint the... Okay, he does that. Is this a bad matchup for Thrawn? It seems like it might be, just because there are so many... Or rather, there's so much health that a legacy run may not even kill something. And even then... I mean, you'll kill something, but like it may not be a board clear. And even then, they could get it out of combat, and they're even more likely to stay with multiple guys on the board. That's before you consider shield shenanigans. This Mando seems really fucking dope. He's legendary. Great. Can't wait to have to pay $50 for that. Man, this guy is just slapping this Theron around. Got him. Let's see how Talzin does, and then maybe call it a night. They are featuring some new cards. Like, Talzin wasn't really a thing during set 6, right? Because the closest comparison we have to Luke is either Rey or Yoda. And when Rey would have been a thing, set 5, Force Throw was around. So nothing really, like, there isn't a great relationship to be discovered there. After Rey, it's Yoda. I don't think Talzin really existed then. I don't know if it was really because of Yoda, but it was an issue. Man, Blue Leader with this Luke is brutal. I don't know, Glory. We got a random shitter. Oh my god. Yeah. Seems not good. I don't know how Talzin fights. What the fuck? Alright, we gotta watch this one. Is this my Eternal deck? Did this guy just break the format with fucking Grogu? I mean, Grogu Droid Manufactory it's not an epic action. Did any Lanoreals rotate? Like, do we have any turn 1s that allow for turn 2 for resource plays? I don't know that making 2 random shitter droids matters. Oh my god, are you shitting me right now? I'm just posting a no context screenshot at the Discord because that Mando has me scared. What, the 5-4 Mando? Alright, I don't know about Kino Loy. Although, I guess that explains the droids. He's got a 6-3 Sabo. What did he kill Grogu with? Oh, he ran... Why did he run Grogu in? Just so you can deploy it again? That even a good idea? Hotshot trade, sure. Dude, if Grogu's a thing in Eternal, that would be sick as fuck. No Kylo deploy. No, I wanted to see more of this Grogu shit. I don't give a fuck about that matchup. That looks like it's miserable. Grogu droid seems kind of interesting. I don't know. All right, chap. I'm going to call it a night. We'll be back tomorrow. As of right now, I'm planning on doing more SWU stuff. I don't know. I hope that the Carabas guys get the newer stuff in. Watching the OG Power Rangers. I didn't know they did ninja stuff in the original Power Rangers. Like, you're talking Mighty Morphin? I was never a Power Rangers guy. I kind of hated them. But I am aware of the genre. I don't remember them turning into ninjas. There was a pirate show for Power Rangers. There were multiple dinosaur shows. There was a dedicated ninja one. I didn't know Mighty Morphin did that. Huh. I mean, they had to do stuff to keep it fresh, so. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, chap. I'm sure we'll be ranting and raving tomorrow. Feel free to ping me with ideas. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for my recording tomorrow. Maybe I'll just pull the first rant from tonight. I don't know. That's going to do it for tonight. As always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.